Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to Sunday's webinar, Crowd One, and we are Crowd One. And these webinars, since we are so many people online today, we will just let you know that we have this webinar every Sunday, the same time, except when there's technical issues. We had one or two of those, but we've been doing this for a couple of months now. And we have as you can see on the starting slide, we call this back to basic. And why we do that is because many of us have been involved in any similar business before. It could have been direct sales or any network marketing or online marketing business earlier. So there's many leaders, we know that are fully trained and know a lot about this. But since the technology have changed our business so much, we have a philosophy in Crowd One, and that is that we will combine technology with the old back to basic principles in this business, because we think, and we know that we 100% sure about this, it will be more better for everyone to get started, to work their business, and to get help along the way to build a stable and a good business in Crowd One. I can see there's a lot of people still logging on while I'm talking here, and that's really nice. And also today we will have. Last Sunday we had technical issues because we were traveling. I was in Manila, and we couldn't get it worked. So we had this webinar in, let me see, last Wednesday, so a couple of days ago. But since we had an issue there too, because people didn't get the link sent out somehow, I don't know what happened, but so many people didn't get the link and didn't have the chance to get on. So some of the stuff that we're talking about today is going to be repetition for those who were on the Wednesday webinar. But since we know repetition is good, we can just laugh it off. Okay, so let's move on here. We have a couple of slides that we will show you. So, okay, guys, we have just launched our first Pacific Asia office in the Philippines. And it's good for you guys to know, because this will be a kind of a hub, a central hub for South Pacific Asia. And if you're familiar with, or you're working down there, you know that Manila is easy to get to and is close to a lot of countries in that region. And that's also why we put our office there. And of course, because we have a lot of really intelligent, good leadership down in that area. And a lot of people actually in the Philippines working. So we had a wonderful week down in the Philippines 1 week ago. Yeah, exactly. So we were down there to get the office launched, and we were cutting the ribbons, as you can see here. We had an official cutting the ribbon launch. We had leadership trainings, as you will see here a little bit, and we got everything ready for you guys to make your business so much easier to work with. So in this picture to the right, that's Jan Frostne, which is a guy that I've known him for, I think it's almost 30 years now. And He's himself been involved in various network marketing businesses, and he also been a CEO. He's been a country manager and so much more in this industry for many years. A solid business guy, really talented, really, he knows a lot about our industry. And of course, he knows a lot about Asia. He's been down there for 15 years, I think. He moved down to the Philippines. And he is the main guy in South Pacific area for you guys. So he is our guy who will handle everything when it comes to legality and getting contracts and documents in order. We already had questions regarding legality with our office, if it's official, and of course it is. And in the office there will be documents from government documents and so on. So everything is in order. You can also see that our office is located in Rockwell. Rockwell is a super nice neighborhood in Manila, one of the nicest. I don't know that much, but I was taking a little bit tour around Manila, and I can say Rockwell is a nice area. We are also among other companies in that office building, so we're in good hands among the biggest radio stations, TV stations, NBC, ABN, BNA, I can't remember all. Also, IKEA's Asian office is in our same building as our office. So we have good neighbors. IKEA, as you know, is a large furniture company from Sweden with the yellow and blue colors, if you haven't seen it. Most of you know about IKEA, I think. Anyway, so we had the ribbon cutting in the office. We invited leaders in the area who had qualified for a leadership training on Friday, and we had a magnificent time down there. The leader training was awesome, and that was Friday. Saturday we had the main event. So that's our office. As you can see, we have a beautiful view on the 7th floor we're located. I can also mention that this is not a walk-in office, of course. There's heavily guarded. You gotta show your ID, and you can't just come there and walk right through. You have to have an appointment before you get there. So you can send an email or call your leaders, upline leaders, and make an appointment if you want to visit the office. But we have an office, and we are now officially launched in South Pacific Asia region. So next slide. No, not that slide. Okay, we can. Yeah, there you go. It's not me doing the slides, so I don't know really what's happening. We had, like I said, a week of preparation with the people at the office. We have an office manager, Marlene, magnificent lady, girl, whatever you want to call her, who has a really good experience in this business. She's been doing events, and she's been working for several companies the last 15, 20 years, as far as I know. So we were doing preparations for the opening and the cutting on the ribbon, and there's a lot of stuff you need to take care of. There's material, and there's roll-ups, and there's so much stuff that went on that week. And then on Saturday we had the big mega event in Asia. 1,000 people showed up It was totally completely sold out. And we were having powerful event. As always, all the events that we do will be powerful, I can tell you that. And the leaders were on stage. We had recognition. People went up on stage, were recognized for the hard work they'd been doing. And the people who were going on the cruise, of course, were recognized. And we have so many leaders flying in from all over the world. We have a lot of leaders flying in from Africa. Maybe we can do the next slide. So we had Mr. Smile, who flew in from Africa. We had Mr. Hat, flew in from Ghana. We had people flying in from Kenya. We have people flying in from Taiwan, from Vietnam, from Thailand, all over the region. And this was only the first event. So yeah, here you can see a couple of the leaders at the office right after the leadership training. And there was a lot of people there who had a wake-up call. Some people have never worked with real leadership before, and some has, of course. So it's not really to point someone out, but we want to do it the right way in Crowd One. That's why we had this leadership training, to put the market down and say, this is the way we do business. Eduardo Renz is a phenomenal leader who were working hard also together with Jan, doing a lot of stuff down there in Manila. To the left here, we see a couple of guys from Africa. That's Mr. Smile, that's Mr. Hat, and of course, Björn Thomas. Björn Thomas, also a leader that without Björn, there wouldn't have been an event, I can tell you. So, but together we're strong, we're a team, we're working together to make everything happening. And you're not strong alone, it's together we achieve more. To the right, we're there again with Mr. Smile and Mr. Hat from Ghana. Beautiful view, like we said, from the office. Let me see what we have. Some more slides. And I think this is, we need to go back to the slide with the pipe. Yeah. So what we wanted to do is show you a thing here, because we know there's a lot of people online today. Of course, the top leaders, you already know this, but some of your people maybe haven't heard this before. And why do we do stuff like this? Why do people get together? We're mostly an online business. We're an online company, of course, but there's nothing in the world that can take that you can switch out to get better results than meeting, being together, to meeting people in person. That's also, of course, when you recruit, you can still recruit, and you can send links out, you can call people, you can do webinars, and we do. But there's nothing in comparison with meeting people in person. That's why it works so well. And I learned many years ago a formula, which is called the formula for success. And it looks like this. When we do this business, we spend a lot of time, 80%. And actually, before I go on with this training, I will tell you the story behind it. It's kind of funny, because I was working with the guy who trained me from the early beginning. And he was that kind of guy. He was working hard. I'm telling you, back in those days, we hardly had any cell phones. The cell phone was just coming out. This was back in '95. And you, of course, you could have one, but it was nothing like today. I'm telling you, there were still faxes, and you need to have written contracts and so on. But he was working really hard, and he set the standard for me, which is still today, I'm thinking about, that time. And that's the way we do this business. When we train people, we set the standard from day one. Anyway, he was working harder than anyone else. But most of the people in the company that he was in back then, and I was in, had better results. So was this German guy who actually sponsored a Danish guy who said, well, maybe you haven't found out yet, they told my sponsor, how to work with events. And he said, well, I'm doing events, yeah, but maybe you not have realized the efficiency of how it works and the results you can get out of events. And this is the formula that they gave him, which he showed me. And I work with that ever since. And I'm telling you, this is how it works. You spend a lot of time, 80% of your time and in your activity doing presentations. You can do presentations with online webinars, you can do three-way calls, you can meet people in person, you can do one-on-ones, two-on-ones, and you spend a lot of time doing presentations. You can do hotel meetings, business opportunity meetings, and so on. And you spend 80% of your time doing that. But if you only should do that, the results would be 5%. So you spend a lot of time, but you only get 5% result. How can that be? Well, you will get it. So next slide. Then you spend 15% more of your time, another 15% of doing smaller trainings, more like, it says business presentation here, but it's more like you do, let's say, the leadership training we had on Friday, or you do a hotel meeting and you meet people and you do trainings. So a little bit bigger meetings. But that will also give you 15% of the result. And the key to success is you spend 5% of your time doing events, but it will give you 80% of your results. Maybe not as much online today. I can understand that, and I realize that someone is shaking his head and saying, no, that's not true. But the principle behind it is that people can never understand what they are involved in until they attend an event. This is also an event. What we're doing on these Sunday webinars, this is an event. This is bigger than your hotel meetings. This is bigger than doing presentations. Because why? Well, you have speakers doing these Sunday webinars, and at the same time, at the event we had in Manila, we had speakers on stage. There were recognition. We were launching stuff. There were drawings. People could win stuff. There were people who actually won gold packages, and some guys actually won a cruise because we had a lottery on attending. So if you're not there, you cannot win, which is of course so true. But back to what I'm saying here. So you spend a lot of time and you get results. And the event has such an effect on people, because when they come on an event like in Manila, and they're sitting in that chair, and they hear the speakers, and they hear the leaders go on stage doing trainings. We had testimonials on stage that were amazing. We had this guy, I can't remember his name, but he was working hard driving a taxi. And he went on stage and said after just a couple of weeks, he had not tripled, but he had earned 10 times more in crowd one in a week that he did working a month with driving a cab. That's the kind of stories that we hear all the time. There's so many stories. And I know I talked to Mr. Smile, and he said he had the same stories in Africa where people have, changed their lives totally. And You can't hear those stories if you not attend an event, if you're not here on these webinars, or if you're not there in person. For instance, the event we had in Manila, you got to be there. You got to be, you got to buy a ticket and just go there. So whenever there's an event in your region, wherever you are, if you're in South America, if you're in Africa, if you're in Europe, if you're in Asia, wherever there is an event, you gotta go, you gotta attend, because that's going to be 80% of your results. First of all, if you have a small team, let's say it's just you, and if it's just you attending, you will go like, yeah, but it's just me. I don't have anyone else. My team is so small. Yeah, but you will get fired up. You will get the information, so you can give it further. You can give it to people. You can give it to your team, to the people who didn't go. And if those guys are, let's say, 5 people, you can promote and you can fire them up and you can tell them what was happening at the event. Like, for instance, the people who don't go online today on this webinar, you can tell them, wow, what you missed out. You can't miss those webinars. We had such a great, so this is about promotion. This is the thing we talked about a lot on the leadership training as well. You gotta promote this business. This business is promotion, because some people, they don't realize what they miss out, and it's too late when they discover that they missed out. So you really got to tell people and train your people to be part of everything that's going on. Smaller presentations, bigger presentations, events, webinars. You got to attend, and you got to tell your people, you got to be there, because you will miss out. So I think this helped me a lot. This equation, time, activity, results. You spend a lot of time, and what kind of results you give. So to me, it was an eye opener when I first understood that, wow, it's about getting people together and have them realize what they're actually involved in, because you can never get the big picture without being there yourself. It's when you're being there at the event, at the webinar yourself, you will get the big picture. And we are different. We are an online company, but we said from the beginning, I will tell you guys also why you have such success. Well, it's because we have the best programmers in the industry. We have a leader and a founder in Jonas, which Jonas is an amazing guy with a lot of qualities. Of course, he's one of the founders of this company. He came up with a lot of these ideas. Of course, he's a superstar. But we're not working alone. The programmers, I can honestly say, I think we have the best programmers in the industry. These guys have been doing this for years and years and years and years and years. And they know everything about the industry, not only programming, not only computers. They know this industry. They know the small glitches, the stuff, and they're on 24/7. That's why you have such a super business, because those guys are working their butts off to get this working for you. And as you have seen so far, we've only been around for a couple of months. Everything works like magic. And I can see you all nodding your heads now, and you're smiling, because it works. You get paid. The website is professional. Everything is there. We're not a perfect company. There will never be any perfect company. There will never be any perfect anything in this universe. That's the beauty about this, because it's not being perfect. It's about doing stuff the right way and learning, because you'll never stop learning. And we learn from mistakes as much as we in the field, we learn of our mistakes. The best learning curve I had was when I was doing stuff the wrong way, because I know, okay, that's not the way to do business, and this is the way. So you can change. So, guys, we have a wonderful opportunity in crowd one. We just getting started. We just getting started. So this is going to be one of the roller coaster rides that in your life probably. And there's so many of you that already has huge success. And I met some of you down in the Philippines, and I will meet some of you at the cruise. We will have trainings there, of course, and we will release news and happenings and promotions and a lot of stuff. So that's also why you see, you can't go on a cruise without being doing a lot of work. So an incentive to work towards. That's why you guys who did not qualify for this cruise, get going and qualify for the next cruise, because I'm telling you, those are the events where stuff is happening. Those are, and it's beautiful to just be on a luxury cruise for a week and eating good and drinking good and spend a lot of time with high energy people, positive, outgoing leaders. And you learn, of course, just being around other positive people. But you can't learn, or you can't get that information, or you can't get that inspiration if you're not there. So same principle, you got to be there. So guys, we're in a vehicle that is amazing. It's just go out and do it. Just go out and build a business. And the saying, it doesn't happen by itself, but it's just do it. You don't have to know everything. You can just do it with your energy and your passion. You don't have to know everything to be successful. That's so true. Okay, guys, I think we do we have any more slides? That was it. Okay, guys, great leadership out there, but we will be better. We will always strive for being better. We will always strive for being better. And there will be events now, I know, in Africa. There will be events in Asia in January. The big mega event, the corporate mega event, will be in January. But there will be minor, smaller events that leaders will hold in that region. If you're in Asia, there will be smaller events that you can attend. But those events, you will get tickets and information from your leaders, because those are local events. There will be local events in South Africa, I know, and Ghana and Kenya, and there will be local events in South America, in Europe. People are catching on and finally getting it. So watch out and just stay in touch with your leaders, and you will get the information. I hope this was valuable for all you guys. You are a beautiful crowd. We are crowd one. Thank you, everyone.